Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Throwaway Cat 13 from the True Off My Chest subreddit and says, found out my sister has been lying about our family to her friends for years. Not great at explaining things, so bear with me, I guess. So, about 3 years ago, my 15 female, older sister, 17 female, Leia, fake name, personality basically did a 180 overnight. She went from being the sweet, reliable big sis to kinda snappy and closed off. Stopped doing chores, would get an attitude if anyone reminded her, spent all day in her room. You get the point. I was 12 at the time, so I was just like, why is she acting like that? My brother, 21 male, was moved out and busy with school and whatnot. In the beginning, my parents chalked it up to teenage girl hormones, which was also technically part of the issue. But also one night she just came out of her room crying and told us she is bisexual. My parents were extremely supportive of this, so was my brother because he's gay. I wasn't educated on this kind of stuff at the time, so I didn't get until my parents explained it to me and why it was such a big deal to her. And I was just like, cool, good for you sis, with a thumbs up emoji. So anyway, her behavior got better after that and she was being nice to us again. She didn't hang out with me as much, which is like, what teenage girl wants to be around their little sister, lol. So fast forward 3 years later, me and my sister are really close again, or at least I thought we were. One thing I've noticed same with my parents is that her friends started acting very weird towards us. Like, they wouldn't talk to us when they came over, if they did, or would occasionally make backhanded remarks or roll their eyes when we spoke. It was weird, but again, this was only when they came over, which was rarely. So me and my parents kinda just brushed them off like, whatever, they don't have to like us. I just found out why they act like this. Probably like an hour ago, I don't know. I was peacefully binge watching an anime when my phone started buzzing like crazy. When I checked, I was added into a group chat on Instagram by our friends. In this group chat, they were basically bashing me for being a horrible person. They were calling me homophobic, a spoiled brat, terrible sister, golden child, homewrecker. Kept telling me I need to apologize to my sister for abusing her. So obviously, I'm confused. When I expressed my confusion to them, they told me to stop acting dumb and innocent. Later they realized I was being serious and genuinely did not know what they were talking about. That's when they sent me a bunch of screenshots between them and my sister. To sum things up, my sister has fed her friends a very wild story about her life and how we treat her. Our parents are extremely homophobic and are kicking her out at 18 because of her sexuality. When she came out, I quickly became the favorite child. I'm spoiled and get everything I want, and because of this, I treat her badly for fun. I hit her, steal and break her things, verbally abuse her and call her homophobic slurs. Not only do my parents allow it, they encourage it. She's forced to do all of the chores and cooking in the house, including cleaning my room. This girl does not know how to cook. Lied about other stuff like having autism and making fun of her for it, which is crazy because I'm the one with autism. There's so much more. Screenshots go back like 2 years, so she's been telling them this shit for close to 3 fucking years. I asked them why it's taken them this long to confront me. They said she begged them not to confront or talk to us about it because apparently it will make things worse for her, and her plan was to just go no contact with us once she's 18. But they couldn't hold back this time because the most recent thing she told them was apparently I found out about the guy she likes / is talking to and immediately found his social media and started texting him. Now he won't talk to her. They're not the abusing, but this was the last straw that broke the camel's back for them. Lol. I debunked as much as I could, sent them pics from pride festivals we went to with her, sent them pics of us. We take a lot together. Sent them pics of my brother with his boyfriend. They were pissed, but I asked them not to do anything until I figure out how to deal with it because apparently my sister is the abused black sheep of the family. They agreed. The convo about me stealing the boy she liked happened a few hours ago. I checked on my sister and she was peacefully sleeping, so she doesn't know about the group chat. As for me, I'm having many emotions about this. Shocked, hurt, angry. It feels like a huge slap in the face. I don't know how to go about this. I don't even know why she's doing it. For attention? I don't know. Reddit, what should I do? Now, the immediate question that comes out to me is why the sudden 180? OP was talking about teenage hormones, but for me it feels like there's more than that. Obviously, I don't know, I can't diagnose, etc., but to just suddenly switch up like that, to tell these lies, etc., it just feels like there's something more. I would immediately, be getting what evidence you do have and taking it to your parents and letting them know. This could have been hugely damaging to you and your family. I mean, it is, but it could have been catastrophic. If it got on like social media, I know it was on like a group chat, but if it got on like public forums or whatever, if it got out to, your wider community. But I Own a Shovel says, I don't really have any advice except take screenshots of the conversation you had with their friends in case it disappears. Could be a good backup if she tries to manipulate your brother or parents against you someday. No Hamster says, when I was 12, my slightly older sister made up a whole bunch of stuff about me, including that I was a lesbian. I'm not. This was back before it was okay to be gay. It was a huge rumor and I was tormented. I'll give you the same advice I wish I had been given. Tell your parents. It's going to suck and be a thing, but they deserve to know what is happening, especially since she's lying about them too. The biggest reason is because I bet she needs help. My sister did. She was dealing with an SA and substance abuse and other issues that I'll never know. I still don't understand why I was her target, and it wasn't right, but I wish she'd been helped. Please tell them. This isn't normal behavior and she needs more support than what you or her friends can provide. OP responds saying, I'm so sorry to hear that. Also, it's 100% okay to feel bad for her or comfort her because she's your sis. But what she went through doesn't make what she did to you okay. Regardless of what she was going through, which was terrible, and I give her my condolences. She made up a lie about you and allowed you to be tormented. My guess is that hurt people hurt people. I hope that made sense. Once again, sorry to you and your sis, and I hope everything is okay with both of you now. But has she apologized? No Hamster replies to that and says, hurt people absolutely hurt people. It's been about 27 years since it happened. We're not close and barely even friendly until about 8 years ago when she got sober. We get along decent now and communicate semi-regularly. We'll probably never be sisterly again, but I don't mind. She never apologized. I'm not even sure she remembers doing it, to be honest, because of how bad her addictions were and how long she was an alcoholic. It took some counseling, but I no longer feel hurt or resentment about any of it. From Didamsman, who says, I would talk to your parents. She needs punishing for this. She's vilified you and your parents. If one of her friends went to the police or called child services, your parents could have been in a huge heap load of trouble. She knows she will get into trouble. You are a child and need to talk to your parents about this. Ignore your sister begging you to not. They need to put her into therapy ASAP. One more comment from Queen Legolas, who says, is it possible she found out her coming out to you guys as anticlimactic and felt the need to create her own narrative or something? Wouldn't be the first time I've read about someone doing something like this. I read another post of this woman smearing against her parents about blogging about how horrible she was treated, and her parents got wind of it and exposed her. She got in trouble for that. She was an adult too. I suggest inviting all friends and the parents to confront her together so she doesn't continuously change her narrative. It might feel like ganging up on her, but this is how you catch her in her lies. She's almost 18. She could leave soon and destroy your family's reputation. She's already doing that, but she could lie about all that in her college applications and other stuff. Have your parents contact their therapist to update on what she's been up to. Opie says, I honestly have no clue. I wrote in another comment that reading the messages from the screenshots her friend sent me, I couldn't even recognize her. She sounds like another person in these texts. I thought her friends were just fabricating it. At home, she's completely normal, doesn't lie, sweet as always, mature, you get the idea. Can you send me a link to that post, please? So OP comes in to update the post and says, first off, I want to thank everyone for their advice. You all helped me get my thoughts in order, so I really appreciate that. So now for the update. I talked to my parents and it kind of went how I expected. Kinda not. Also, I know this is kinda late. I do apologize for that. I stayed up most of the night. A, because I was reading your comments and whatnot, and B, couldn't sleep that much, lol. Got about 2 hours in. But I went with the obvious advice you all gave me and took screenshots of everything, including the messages from the last night, group chat. My dad gets home earlier than my mum and my sister has a part-time job, so I spoke to my dad first. Obviously, he was furious, shocked, hurt. It was hard watching it happen since I love my dad. He also apologized a lot as I'm the one who had to find this out and sit him down. Anyway, Mum got home and my dad wanted to talk to her alone, so I went into my room. This is the unexpected part. I heard my parents arguing a lot, and I'll skip the details, but I later found out that Mum knew about Leia's lies. She found out about 5 months ago and didn't tell my dad. I don't know the details, but apparently she made my sister promise not to do it anymore and just trusted that she wouldn't. Lol. Safe to say, my dad was pissed. Leia got home and things got worse. More screaming from Leia. It was hard not to hear because I was literally in the house, but my dad said that Leia was punching and scratching her legs, threatening to kill herself, also screaming that she was going to kill me. So I was kinda scared to leave my room. Literally never heard my sister scream like that before. My dad was already mad that my mum went behind his back and kept him out of something that involves his child. My mum defended herself, saying that she was just protecting Leia and that she's just a kid. But my dad is smart enough to realize that Leia is clearly not mentally well and she needed to be put in an MH. A lot of you said the same. From what I heard and what my dad told me, my mum begged him not to, but my dad was already pissed about what she did, so he threatened to leave her if she didn't comply. There was more arguing, but eventually they did drive her to the hospital, and obviously I haven't seen her. Me and Dad are now at my grandparents' dad's side, and he's not currently speaking to my mum, but he did tell her that if she tries to take Leia out, then she is ending their marriage. I also spoke to my brother, and obviously he was hurt but concerned for our sis, so there's that. My dad and I have talked a lot. Good talks. He apologized to me for everything going on, but it's not his fault, so there's nothing to forgive. If anything, I feel more bad about the situation, but me and my dad are good. I'm not sure exactly where my parents' relationship stands right now, but Dad told me not to worry about adult stuff and just to focus on being a kid and going to school, so that's what I'm going to try and do. But that's basically everything for now. I will update if anything else happens. Thank you again, Reddit. So there were some comments which OP replied to. So Beaksy says, "You were so brave and I'm so happy you told your parents. It's wonderful that your dad has you and your sister's back. Your mum seems scared and obviously ill-equipped to handle the gravity of your sister's symptoms. Your dad's right though, he's got this. You are safe and loved. It takes work, but now that your sister's actions and symptoms are in the open, you can all start to heal. By telling your dad, you started the healing journey. That's huge and an amazing thing. For some reassurance regarding your sister, 7 years ago, my sis had several psychotic breaks. It was a combo of drugs, complex trauma, later diagnosed BPD, so a different situation, but it did result in her threatening to kill me, and she wanted to, as she was taken to the MH. It was scary. After her doing a shit ton of work, therapy, taking her meds, etc., she is leveled, honest, and just a little weird. We have a strong and very honest relationship." OP says, "I didn't mention this in either of my posts because I didn't think it was relevant, but now it kinda is. An issue with my mum is that ever since Leia came out, she does kinda coddle her and make excuses for her shitty behavior. Like example, why is Leia being kinda rude today? Mum says, oh, well sorry, she's just young and trying to navigate her sexuality as a young teenager. And you get it, lol." Build says, "Wait, during the freakout, did your sister at any point try to explain why she did that? I mean, I have a pretty good idea why, but I want to hear what she had to say. Also, please stick with your dad." OP says she didn't explain, no. At first, Dad said she was lying. She said her friends were trying to get her in trouble. Then she said I was trying to get her in trouble, but Dad wasn't having it. She tried making excuses, but in the end, I didn't find out the reason from her. One of the commenters talks about the possibility of OP's mum hiding from the family and thinking it was a phase and the sister might get over it kind of thing. OP says, "I have a theory as to why. Unfortunately, my mum has always been the person to run or turn away from difficult situations. I think that in my mum's heart, she knew she needed to do something about it, but at the same time, my sister is a sweet angel, and my mum just didn't want to face the possibility that Leia is anything other than a sweet angel, so she ignored it and forgot it happened." Lots of people are obviously just concerned for the OP and express that in their comments, and OP responds saying, "Most of her lies were about me, weirdly enough. It's just so how crazy she can be so loving towards me, but if you read those messages, you'd think she hated me. She didn't just make up lies about how I treat her, she would bash my character any chance she got, and so would her friends. Things I always thought she loved about me when she was actually making fun of it behind my back for years. I don't know if my dad is considering divorce or not. Marriage counselling for sure. How he sees it is she kept a secret about something so huge for months involving his child. What else is she hiding? Also, I'll talk to my dad about erasing me from her phone, lol. And people can say what they want, but I will not be giving her a pass for what she did because her mental health is shit. Mental health or not, she made a choice to actively bash and destroy my character behind my back for 3 years. She is my sister and I will always love and care for her, and I'm rooting for her to get better as of right now, I don't have to like her. It's going to take a long time for her to earn my trust back and forgive her. If she even wants that. I don't think my sister even likes me, lol. I don't have to be the fire that keeps her warm. Someone was talking about sister's admission to the mental health place, and Opie says, like I said before, I don't know the ins and outs of therapy or mental hospitals. I wasn't there when they took her. All I know is they were gone for a few hours before they came back, and me and my dad went to my grandparents. I asked my dad about it and they said it honestly depends on the situation and what the person is dealing with. When they took her, her legs were bleeding and swollen from hurting herself, plus the details of what happened previously. So yes, as of right now, she's in 72-hour hold or whatever. It's not just the fact she was making threats. She was literally injured from hurting herself. Diane says it's probably a good idea to limit her internet access for a bit after she gets out, or at least to monitor it a lot. There's a chance she might start spreading lies on there too, if she's given the chance right after coming back. Also, I know you said your father isn't going for divorce yet, but please tell him to still gather evidence now of what your mum did just in case. Theoretically, if it does come to divorce, if your sister ends up in sole or majority custody of your mother, I'm willing to bet that she's going to keep enabling your sister. And since your mum did already, your sister would probably ask to be with her. At your ages, courts usually let teens decide who to be with. Your father would have to prove why that would be bad. Just based off of my experiences going through shit ton of custody battles when I was younger between my parents. Opie responds saying, yeah, my dad has already said that he will do everything to help my sister get better, but she's not getting the pass because of her mental issues. She still chose to do something awful and continued doing it for 3 years. She's not going to have the same privileges she had when she gets out. No phone or other entertainment devices for a while, and no hanging with friends outside of school. Not that she has any more. The point is, if I didn't find out when I did, something very catastrophic could have happened, like getting CPS called on them, or worse. Dad said that Leia needs to understand that as much as good behavior gets rewarded, bad actions have bad consequences. As for my parents, I still have no idea. They did end up speaking on the phone earlier, but it was pretty short. All I know right now is that Dad doesn't trust Mum and thinks she might be hiding other stuff, and he definitely wants to get marriage counselling and possibly family therapy for all of us. And, I absolutely agree with the therapy points that Opie was making, that they're going to get in some sort of therapy. I hope Opie does, the dad does too, because, dealing with that kind of thing has got to be absolutely traumatic. I couldn't imagine going through something at that kind of age. I know a lot of people do, of course, but it's got to be devastating. And like some of the comments on OP was saying that the mum is doing her absolutely no favors at all in this situation by hiding this. And I'm just incredibly glad that the dad did listen to OP, supported OP, believed them, and just sorted the whole situation as much as they could right now out. But that was OP's last post on the matter. But I do wish them all the best going forward. Of course, I hope that the sister receives the help that she so clearly needs. Obviously not excusing the behavior that was shown in this post either, because I don't blame OP for, not being able to forgive them right now or maybe forever, but still wish them the best because you still want that person to heal, to get the help that they do need. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. As always, thank you. Recently, there's been a bit of a flood of pet tax over on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it these days, at Mark Narrations, by the way. Don't forget to come and share it. I always absolutely love to see it, whilst I just share various memes and pictures of what's going on throughout my day. Come get involved, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.